Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Bunkovai here for MMOBomb.com, and welcome to our first impression gameplay video for Marvel Heroes, a new action RPG in development by Gazillion Entertainment. Now I'm going to spend about 20 minutes or so checking out the game, making my usual style of commentary. If you guys want to learn more about the game, I highly suggest you check down below at MMOBomb.com for the full game profile. Now to start off with here, Marvel Heroes of course incorporates all the iconic, well-known superheroes from the Marvel Universe. You've got obviously the Hulk, Thor, basically all of the Avengers, Deadpool as you can see there. You've got the Fantastic Four, Iron Man. All of those really iconic superheroes from the series have made their way into the game in one form or another, either as a playable character or as a character that is sort of one of the NPCs spread throughout the game. Same goes for all the supervillains as well. The storyline of the game was actually written by Brian Michael Bendis, who is best known for writing the Ultimate series in the Marvel superhero line. So you got Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Avengers, Ultimate X-Men, etc. So this is a very legit Marvel superheroes game. I think even Stan Lee is going to make a cameo in the game at some point. If we actually bring up the store here, you can kind of see the full roster of available heroes right now. When you start the game, you choose one of the available pre-selected heroes to start with, and you level up with that one, buying other ones later on as you continuously level up and accrue either special in-game items which allow you to purchase new heroes, or just simply purchasing out of the hero store itself, as you can see here. There's costumes that you can purchase for them. They don't really change anything other than the look of the hero, as well as basic experience item boosts, etc. Nothing really pay to win per se. Of course, they have the Founders Packs as well. Now, I'm playing a store here, and the way the game works is like you would expect any other action RPG to work. You go through a storyline that's been crafted and go through each individual zone, picking up new items, fighting the enemies within there, and completing and continuing progressing the story. Now, it works a little bit different than your typical action RPG in that there are some zones that are action or open world zones, I should say. One of the quest lines right now has me investigating this nightclub district, so Thor's going to get his jig on right here, do a little bit of dancing in this nightclub before finding out where the enemies are. I'm definitely telling my friends I saw you. What's pretty cool about the game is there's a fair amount of interaction between the heroes and the environment. So not only is there the physics destruction and stuff like that that's available in the game, but also characters will make specific mention of whatever superhero you are interacting with them. So usually, for example, if you're Iron Man, Tony Stark, and you go to the Avengers Tower, which is where we just were, certain characters will actually emote differently depending on who interacts with them, which I think is a really nice touch of detail. You know, it makes the world feel much more alive and reacting to who you are, despite the fact that you see, you know, hundreds of Hulks running around, hundreds of Thors. Obviously, it doesn't limit on how many of a particular superhero is actually available in one area. Now, the area I'm at right now, I believe currently is a zoned area, so that means that only myself or whoever's in my party is able to access it. But we'll eventually get over into an open world area, and you can see where everybody fights in. The mobs, the enemies within that area, respawn quite quickly and basically give you a full list of enemies to fight all the time. There's usually gangsters, and the mobs themselves are sort of specific to whatever area you're in. There's also usually open world bosses. I believe Electro, I forget his name exactly, but there are open world bosses in each of the major open world zones for you to fight. One of the later zones has you fighting, of course, Venom, and then there's ones like Dr. Octopus, the Green Goblin, etc. that make their way in as zone bosses or as simple instance dungeon bosses. So as you can see here, I have got access to several abilities on my ASD as well as my left and right mouse button, much like you would in either action RPG. The abilities themselves are quite well done in terms of their aesthetics, and you'll see here I can electrocute people, and everything feels very, you know, Thor-ish, where you have a lot of lightning-powered abilities, you got a lot of strength, knock people back, and all of that works well with all the Havoc physics engine going on. Now, I've got some different items here that I can equip. I don't really have to pay attention to that guy, but it looks like that item itself is for Miss Marvel, and I am not Miss Marvel, so I cannot use it. You will pick up items for other characters. Whoa, freaking that one tiny box blew up that entire little, I don't know what that metal structure was. And you can move barrels around, which is always a lot of fun. Man, lots of explosion, lots of good bits going everywhere. So I did level up, so I can use a couple of the points that I used to level up, or I got upon leveling up, in order to further my abilities. Each of your abilities can get ranked up further, so that you get higher damaging versions of them, or you can unlock brand new abilities themselves. So it looks like I got Thunder Surge, summon a mighty thunderclap that knocks back enemies and deflects projectiles in front of you. That sounds pretty awesome, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up there. Now obviously you don't have access, or you don't have room for all of your powers, so you are going to have to pick and choose what powers you want to improve. I'm going to improve Thunderous Charge because that's a pretty good ability too. What powers you want to use in order to sort of craft your playstyle. So I can bring up the map by hitting tab here like you would in other action RPGs. Kind of make my way around here, trying to find exactly what I'm supposed to learn. The enemies themselves are actually fairly easy to take down, but you do get sort of the higher variance on the... Whoa, and of course it's still in beta, so there are a little bit of lags and frame rate drops at times. Man, electrocute that one guy. Talk about overkill. So I've got abilities that allow me to jump up, and unfortunately there are a couple of little nuances I have with the game. So your basic auto attacks feel very floaty in the sense that they don't have the impact you would expect. You know, he swings his mighty hammer and you have this nice thud, but you're kind of just sitting there like barely hitting them, and you would think that a superhero hitting someone with just a basic attack, they would react more to that. You know, they would flinch or they would flail, something like that. But that's not really the case right now, and that's probably one of my biggest disappointments with the game. They have all this other nice attention to detail, but it certainly does lack in some areas. Alright, so let's come up here. Now, as you can see in my UI, I have access to my health on the left-hand side. I want some food. Give me some food. I picked up that, that was quite hilarious. Some things you can pick up in the game, like cars and what have you, and throw them at other enemies, although it's not really conducive to improving your DPS. Now, as Thor here, I'm basically like a tank character. I can take a lot of damage. In fact, one of the passives of mine, if I bring it up, I believe I can bring it up by hitting P. You can go to Sons of Asgard, see my Asgardian stamina here. Increases my physical defense, my energy defense, and my maximum health. So I am very much a tank-like character, but I still dish out quite a lot of damage, which is nice. Go ahead and kill these guys here. Now, as you can see, some enemies do drop little particles that you can use for crafting. I believe you can also deconstruct items you've accrued that you don't want to use in order for using them for crafting purposes, which is nice, but I haven't really messed around too much with the crafting system right now. Alright, so let's use this Thunderclap ability. Holy crap, that's pretty awesome. Now, I'm not really sure how deflecting projectiles would work, seeing as you don't really get a lot of telegraph projectiles being thrown at you, mostly just people shooting at you with bullets early on, but perhaps in a PvP scenario that would be very useful. Plus, it just looks amazing, knocking them back and everything. Alright, so let's kill these guys. Now, you may notice another meter above my experience bar that is accruing over time around the enemies. That essentially is just like a passive sort of resource that everybody gets. It's something different for each person, but it gives a sort of additional bonus to your abilities. So for example, if I have this meter and I charge through these guys, it does do like a minor stun to them as well. So you do get sort of added benefits or bonuses to your abilities as you accrue or get more of this resource here. Now, everything certainly looks very easy right now because these guys are just basic gangsters here. And I also found an early epic item, which I think is giving me a lot of power. And as soon as I kill these guys here, I'm going to show you some of the items because they actually give you more bonuses than just simple stats. Kill that guy over here, thunderclap those guys, and my spirit's out, but it does recharge fairly quickly. You do have these little health shield or health medic kits rather, but you just die. That you can use to regain your health, and then also the enemies drop a little health and mana, or sorry, not mana, spirit balls that you can pick up to recharge yourself. Alright, so you notice here I have these different items available to me. Thor is my modern costume that you can swap out for different things. The shocker medal, these medals here in my inventory, you're awarded these after killing certain types of enemies. So this one I got after killing Shocker, one of the mini bosses in one of the dungeons, and it gives me a 5% chance to damage and knock attackers back when you take damage. I also have one here, which is I got for killing Electro, That's one of the open world bosses that gives me 3% chance to electrify when I deal damage. I like the 5% chance though, it seems a lot better, but I can swap it out just to show you what happens. Now once you actually swap them into a particular hero, it does become bound to that hero, but you can always go back and kill the same boss again to get another version of it for a different hero. Kill that guy, thunderclap that guy around here. Now one of the main things I do like about the game is the fact that you can change out your heroes practically any time. So let's say for example I'm done with leveling up Thor for now. I can go to my roster here, I can go to Deadpool, he's level 4 but he's close enough, and I'll be able to quickly then swap out to Deadpool, and bada bing bada boom, I'm now Deadpool. So I can run around here and use all my abilities, albeit I don't really like Deadpool too much. I know he's funny, he does have a lot of the comedic value that you would expect Deadpool to have, but his abilities are lackluster, and that's one thing I do have a little bit of a critique upon. Some of the heroes are really fun to play, but I feel like when you're trying to deal with so many different heroes and trying to make each of them distinctive, not only for how they play, you know, in terms of what you would expect particular heroes to play as, but just making their abilities satisfying as well. Deadpool relies a lot on just his auto attack swings, and he can also shoot people with his bullet guns away. I think I have I deal energy damage because of my metal. But I also get access to like a swift kick, which basically I kick them in that you-know-where vulnerable spot, which I think is pretty funny. They do incorporate some of his humor into his abilities as well. But a lot of the abilities just kind of seem like lackluster. Don't mind the little bit of lag that you see here. There are quite a lot of people on the beta server currently. Usually this plays quite a little bit more fluidly, I guess you could say. But you notice here, the guys don't really... I mean, it's kind of like, I can just come up to these guys, auto-attack them a little bit. And it's fairly easy, at least at the lower levels. It does get a little bit more challenging once you get into the higher level dungeons. I can kill those boxes as well. I'm just going to keep moving up here to try to find out what is going on in this area. Now, it said investigate the nightclub. The nightclub led me into this area, and this is another problem I have with the game. So now we're getting a little bit of a challenge. Alright, now we get quite a lot of these guys here. I can just kick them in an AoE here, no problem. Throw another little grenade there, knocks all of them back. I mean, I like the fact that it does actually use all those physics effects. Alright, get out of the way here. Throw down some of those cow traps. Get out of here. I mean, they're not doing too much damage, but they're starting to do some. And in reality, I mean, this is one of the things I was talking about. Thor, even being a tank, he just feels a lot more meatier. You feel like he can really get through these guys a lot easier. And that just comes down to the design of the characters, the design of their abilities, etc. To me, Deadpool feels very clunky, and I'm not able to really connect with that character and his abilities as much. So if you go back to the roster, I have Thing, but he's already only level 1, so probably not the best for this area here. Like I mentioned before, you can accrue items for different heroes. So if you ever did end up leveling up a new hero, you could theoretically, of course, hold on to a lot of the gear, especially a lot of the good gear, in order to quickly level them up or quickly give them a lot of good items without having to farm. I found out a lot. Whoa, that's pretty cool. That little lightning bounced all between all three of them. I quickly found out that doing this sort of open world areas where a lot of the mobs kind of congregate and there's a lot of people in there gives you a lot of good items very quickly. I started Thor this morning and already have like 2 blue items, that epic item, and then of course several greens and a couple of whites. So you certainly can get new items very quickly. And just blow up everything. Thor loves destruction. Just gonna keep moving my way through these guys as quickly as possible. Oh, that guy's glowing. I must have electrified him so much. Knock that guy back. It looks like, finally. So it looks like Kingpin's collection area. Oh, what's going on there? It looks like, it kind of looked like Catwoman, but I don't think that was quite. Maybe it was. It was the Catwoman. Wait, Catwoman is a DC universe. That is not a Marvel Heroes. My bad. Alright. So now we got Dr. Octopus boss fight here. So this is one of, not the open world boss fights. Okay. Doing some damage to me. This isn't one of the open world boss fights, but it is one of the dungeon-esque boss fights that you can do either by yourself or with anybody else that's currently in your... Oh god. Alright, so let's try to actually knock one of these projectiles back here if he actually throws it. Let's see if he can do it. Oh yeah, nice! That was pretty awesome there. Oh, it flipped me on the ground. Okay, let's see what we got here. Do some charge here. These boss fights, they haven't been terribly difficult right now, but you know, it is beta. There are of course times for them to balance things out. I do remember I've been playing the closed beta for quite a while. I can go ahead and just pop one of those, why not? I have been playing the closed beta for quite a while, and earlier on the boss fights certainly were a lot less balanced. Some of the boss fights were practically impossible, while other boss fights were actually super easy, Dr. Octopus being one of them. So it is obvious that they have been doing some balancing issues or balancing tweaks to sort of bring them more in line. Come on. Oh, he still hit me. I didn't time it right. But overall, this isn't really anything crazy to talk about, but keep in mind I'm still only like, what, level 7 or something like that? So obviously, higher you go, the more... Oh!
Well, all right! We won one! High five! You can't give a brother a high five?
Thank you! I was looking for that.
Sweet Christmas! Who the hell was that?
Calls himself the Hood.
Christmas.
So all the good names were taken?
Don't underestimate him. That cape and hood, let him teleport anywhere in the world.
Intel says he's a serious pretender to Kingpin's throne.
Damn it!
Okay then. Good job, everybody.
We just gave the Hood the edge he needs to take this entire city.
Ain't gonna happen. Someone somewhere knows where this guy hangs his cape at night.
We need to go to Fury with this.
Actually, I think I know who we should talk to first.
This Hood is a thief and a varlet.
Alright.
Perhaps this could be of use.
Go ahead and pick up all those items. So there is one of the examples of a motion comic that occurs in the game. So motion comics usually happen after major sort of plot points within the game, or major at the end of rather each of the sort of chapters, if you will. They're quite nice. It does definitely give it a comic book style feel, and I don't know if they're quite finished. You saw some of the numbers around the edges. But it's a nice addition. It's a little bit different from just the typical in-game cutscenes that you would have where some character would just stand next to another character and you would see text box above their head. A little bit extra polish, if you will. Now, before I go ahead and talk to him, I did get a couple new items, including the Dr. Octopus medal, which gives me plus 11% power radius and 7% critical chance for any area power. Well, I have a ton of area powers, so I'm going to go ahead and bind that to me because that looks awesome here. And then we got some other things. This one gives me 9% defense, the one I currently have equipped, and plus 2 to leaping smite. But I've already got, looks like, a better hammer here. Oh, I don't know. It's pretty close. But it's still, I'm going to keep the one I have currently. Alright, so everything else is pretty much lackluster. I can all sell this or just dismantle it all. Keep what I need, toss what I don't. Come over here. Hello, Cloak. I will talk to that. And objective complete. I also did level up. Now, one thing that you should have paid attention to, or you should have seen, rather, when I had my character screen open, how do I bring that? There we go, character is on it, is the fact that some items give me additional ranks of a particular ability. So even if you haven't skilled up an ability, if a item that you have grants you that ability, you do get access to it beforehand, so you can kind of try out abilities, or at least have access to abilities that you normally don't have skilled up due to some items that you equip. It also, if you have an ability that you already have skilled up some, it can increase the rank of that ability, dealing more damage without you actually having to put more points into it. So you can see that these are boosted from 2 to 4 each individually. Alright, so I really like this ability. I'm going to go ahead and put another point there. Why not here? And I'm not really sure why I only get 2 points at times, whereas other times I get 4. Perhaps it's sort of just to balance it out. You get 2 points early on, perhaps, and then later on you start just getting 1, or may go back and forth, alternating. All right, so we're gonna go, I think, back to the Avenger Tower. Yep, here we are, and I got some quests to turn in now. Oop, can't go out that way. I mean, overall, if you're a Marvel's fan, then definitely I would say this would be a game to check out. They've really paid close attention to the universe and sort of added a lot of tiny details for you. I do have issues with some of the combat, like I mentioned before, a lot of it feeling floaty or spammy, but action RPGs are just in general like that. I wish they could sort of tune the auto attack animations just a little bit more to give them a little bit more oomph, and certainly tune the 22 heroes currently available in the game so that they all are as fun as a lot of them tend to be. Thor is really fun, whereas Deadpool not so much, at least right now, early levels. Alright, and I think that's a lot of times what people are going to look for when they're playing a hero, is they're going to be looking for, I think I have to craft. Do I have those enough? 3? I think, yep, I do have 3, so I should be able to craft this now. Craft 3 identical simple items. Can I put all these together here? Can I put those in there? Maybe if I take this out. I want to put this, and then I'll put this, and we'll see what this gives me here. Create item.
As Guardian tailors could do no better.
I suppose that just gives me like a more upgraded version of that recipe that I could use to craft things like gear, costumes, etc. I can also donate items to him to increase the crafter's rank. I am assuming that also will help you make better items later on. But it takes quite a while, 81 out of 800 XP, and I don't really know how to increase that faster other than donating items. I'm at 194, but I've donated about half of my cash, albeit you do get quite a lot of these items at once, and holy crap, that is way better than I have in my opinion, so I will go ahead and swap that out. Got myself a better hammer here, and we will donate this as well. Doesn't look like donating something of a higher value gives you that much more, but at least it is some kind of a bonus. Alright, and I like the sliding door effect. That is quite nice. Alright, so let's come over here and turn in this quest. I'll travel to Jersey Docks next. So this should be the next area, open world area that you guys can experience. Kind of see how that actually works, that mechanic, and hopefully we'll encounter, I believe Venom is this open world boss. So you guys will be able to see that. Hopefully. He does have a sort of limited spawn timer, so he'll spawn and it'll do like an emote around the area. Everybody will try to go there to kill him. You get rewards, everybody's happy, etc. I should use one of my health potions here. I should have just... Ooh, an old videotape. Alright, so an old videotape will have a little bit of a recording for me. It's basically a quest that I can pick up here. I'm bringing open my inventory and we can take a look at that. So, ooh, here it is. The following is a paid advertisement.
Crave the excitement of international criminal intrigue, but lack the skills to make that dream come true? Do the voices inside your head tell you that you were meant for something more? Do you sit there day after day, seething with the need for revenge, but don't know how to get it? Then the Taskmaster Institute is for you. Here at the Institute, we train you for a life of power and skill. You'll learn 7 different styles of martial arts. And many forms of advanced weaponry. If you're smart enough to find me, you're smart enough to learn the lessons I can teach you. The Taskmaster Institute. When you
555 kill.
absolutely know you were meant for something more.
Someone should actually try to call that phone number and see what happens. I'll try to do that after this and see what it actually brings me. But there is one of the examples of the quest lines that will grant you basically a new quest you can go to and provide a comical little cutscene as well. Alrighty here. So as you can see, here's where some of the people are all grouped up. The Hulk, for example, has a robotics lab. The Hulk, for example, has one of the different costumes you can find in the game. Now, you don't have to buy all costumes. Some costumes you find in the game, and once you've found them, you actually craft them, which I think is a nice little feature. Ooh, giant robot, yes please. Man, look at these effects. Pretty good, I have to say. A lot of interesting sort of particle effects going on. Kill that guy really quickly. Kill this guy as well. Alright, and I was really hoping that Venom would actually spawn so I could show you that. But alas, I don't think he's going to be here. No, what in fact I'll do is I will stick around here, and as soon as he comes around, we will go ahead and cut back to the video before we finish out our first look today. So be right back. I'm going to try to find me some Venom. Alright guys, he just came up on the map, so I'm heading right there. He does a little bit of a emote around the entire map area once he does spawn. Hopefully I get there before he doesn't die. But generally speaking, it does take a little bit to actually kill him, so we'll come over here. Now, I do remember him being quite difficult. Oh, no, he's already getting destroyed. So here he is, a good example of what happens when you have tons of people in one area. I do believe it scales somewhat based on how many people are here, but man, that is a lot of emotes. That is a absolute ton of stuff going on my screen at once here. And I've got a really beefy computer, and it's chugging even just to keep up with this. All right. So usually he does different abilities. He'll do explosions, he'll jump and hit people and grab people, etc. Knock them down. You can kind of see a little bit of projectiles, but it's hard to see exactly what's going on with so much stuff happening on the screen at once. I mean, look at those effects. Holy crap. Oh, man. All right. So, oh, I'm going to die. Don't die. Oh, no, I've been defeated. All right, so I can actually stay here. He's been basically killing everybody in the area. Hopefully I'll be able to get revived. Maybe. I can just stay here and wait to get revived afterwards. Unfortunately, because I am Thor, I do get taken out quite easily when in close range with Venom here. Just simply because he really does a lot of explosion damage in close proximity. You see everybody basically that was really close died really fast, whereas everybody that stand back and shoot really easy. But there's all the stuff that comes out. A ton of experience, ton of health, all that stuff. It's really lagging to try to pick up with everyone. But the experience amounts do diminish over time. Looks like I got revived finally, so I can actually pick up all those items here. The experience does diminish over time, so if you don't pick it up very quickly, you will lose out on the experience that actually drops. And I think I lost out on those items as well. Usually everybody does get access to those items, but you do have to pick them up pretty much within the first couple of seconds that they actually drop. Otherwise, they will disappear, as you saw. But that's an example of what happens when you have absolute tons of people in one area taking on a world boss. They can be difficult. They certainly can take you out someone easily with lesser people. And they certainly can be challenging as well if you have, say, half of this group. I think the reason why you have so many people, and you'll have this issue probably on launch day, as well as obviously in the open beta, is the fact that so many people are getting into the game so quickly. By the way, when you drop items, other people can pick them up, as you've seen here. Prototype boots are the boots for Iron Man here. And you'll see all the different Iron Mans. They even have the Iron Man from the new Iron Man 3 in the game, so they're certainly keeping up with all the different cosmetic versions of them. One quick little thing that I wanted to critique in the game is the fact that items like experience, I don't feel should be things that you have to run around to pick up. It can get quite annoying, especially later on, as you'll do big explosions and some of the actual experience itself will go flying off the screen. Let's see if we can actually do that. So you may forget or may not see that some of the experience that you're trying to accrue actually gets pushed way far away. Now, I don't think that's all of the experience that you get for killing things, but I think it's a bonus experience that you get for trying to pick it up. I wish it would sort of gravitate towards you a little bit more than it does currently. But yeah, there's an example of one of the open world bosses in the game. There's a lot more, I suspect, at higher levels. Currently, there's a ton of chapters available, and they keep adding chapters and chapters, and it's really conducive to a superhero game because obviously new villains always come out. And, you know, superheroes' lives are never finished. There's always more for them to take out, more enemies for them to kill, etc. But that's going to, avenge or take, you know, put in prison. I don't know, not all superheroes actually kill people, although Punisher does. So I guess it depends on who you're fighting or who you're fighting as, you know, what's your moral code. That's going to be my first look for Marvel Heroes. If you guys want to learn more about the game, I highly suggest you check the profile at MMOBomb.com for the full game details. It's in currently open beta. For a weekend. I don't think by the time this goes up it'll still be, but if it is, it's open till Monday afternoon, I believe. So if you happen to see this video before then, go ahead and check it out for whatever amount of time it's left open. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the open beta. Spunkify out. Later, guys.